Yo, what's good, everybody? Kill Andy here. Man, shout out to Kenny. Shout out to the whole Discord community. Man, these battles have been so fucking fun, and I can't wait to break this beat down for y'all. As you can see, I do work in Logic. Shout out to all my Logic gang. Yes, we do exist, believe it or not. But here, let me run this beat back once for you guys. Yeah, so let me start with the sample chop. I knew pretty much from the jump what part of the sample I was going to chop up, or try to. But here's the original sample. So the part that I chopped up is actually at the very beginning. It's that little 4-note descending thing. That little bum 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 bum. That little 4-note thing. So I just took those 4 notes, chopped them out of the sample, bounced them to a separate track, mid-passed them pretty aggressively, and then I just chopped those 4 notes up individually so that I have the first note of those 4 repeating, and I also pitched it all way up like an octave or something. But I had that first note repeating 4 times like that, and then I have the other 3 notes of that 4-note thing as like a separate idea, like that. So I just took those 2 ideas and placed them, at strategic points throughout the beat as I continued making the beat. And then I did another chop as well that I'll talk about in a second. But once I did that, once I like chopped that part of the sample out and pitched it up and chopped the 4 notes up, I added in this this piano loop, these piano chords. And that just loops through the whole beat. And that sound is coming out of my Korg SV1. Piano is my main instrument, so I have a couple keyboards that I like to use that have pretty good sounds. The SV1 is really good for like vintage sounds. It has a tube in it, like in the keyboard, like in a tube amp. So it gives it this really warm quality, and it's really good. It has some really good piano sounds, Rhodes, Worley, organ sounds, clav sounds, all those vintage things. But I just added that loop in after I chopped the sample. And I had to throw some RC20 on there too, man. Just a little wobble, little distortion. Here's without. Here's with the RC20. And from there, I didn't want to be listening to the click anymore, so I added in this really simple hi-hat loop. And these hats are coming out of Battery, which is a drum machine. It's kind of old, from a few years back. I don't know a lot of people that use it, but low-key, it has a lot of different kits. If you look on the left side here, it has all these different kits, and it, spanning all different musical styles. So I've been getting a lot of my drums lately out of Battery. So I added that hi-hat loop in. Once I did that, I added in this 808. Hang on. This 808. And I believe this 808, I'm pretty sure it's from a Lunch 77 kit. Man, shout out to Lunch. I know we've been talking about him a lot lately. Yeah, man, shout out to Lunch. So I added that in. And once I have all these elements, I'm kind of hearing, like, I have this intro where the piano and the hi-hat loop are going, and the sample chop. And for this intro, I EQ'd the hat and the piano so that it's more mid-passed, and then once the drums come in, it really opens up. And I was just hearing this like boom bap sort of pattern that I wanted to come in, and I knew I could hear like exactly the spot that I wanted it to come in at. And again, I just took these drums. It's just a kick and a snare. Again, I took them out of battery, and the sound, I mean, it's pretty bare bones. I didn't go super hard with these drums, you know, but it was a good approximation of the sound that I wanted and the feeling that I wanted. So I just went with it, man. Don't overthink shit, you know. But I added that pattern in, and that was, you know, once I added the drums in, that was the point where I really started chopping the sample and like dropping it in at different points. I added a couple of breaks in here. Here, I'll let you listen. And yeah, I took that like 4-note high pitch thing that I talked about before, that, and I pitched it down again and looped it. So it's just this constant sort of like, almost like a funk guitar line. And that runs pretty much through the whole rest of the beat. And I added in these little breaks, you know, throughout the beat just to keep it interesting. And I found that to be really effective. Just little breaks like that, choosing where something changes a little bit for a second, you know? And then that boom bap pattern continues, but then it kind of breaks down and falls out at the end of the beat. Yeah, and that little synth flourish there, that was the last thing that I put in. That's coming out of my Juno. Yeah, I have a Juno DI synthesizer that I've had for like 10 years now. It's not the 106, you know, but it's a pretty good mid-sized substitute as far as the Juno goes. It's got some pretty good sounds in it, and you can hear. I did like 10 different takes of that thing, and you can still hear it. Kind of sounds a little bit square, still a little sloppy. I automated the volume and everything, so you can't really tell in the context of the beat, but it's funny. But yeah, man, I just want to say thanks again to Kenny, Dave Pensato, everybody in the Discord community. Gratitude, love, don't overthink shit. Peace.